to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The clerk take the roll, please.
Mayor Rowe?
Here.
District 1, Morset?
Here.
2, O'Connell, it's absent. Rodebacher, 3.
Here.
Wyland, 4.
Here.
O'Malley, 5.
Here.
Virtual is absent.
At this point in our agenda, we take comments and suggestions from citizens present for any subject not on the agenda. Is there anybody who'd like to address the council at this time? Yes. Sure. Cheryl?
Pat Shirley from the Hudson Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau, and I wanted to encourage the residents of Hudson to participate in the annual tour of homes this year. It will be set for Saturday, November 17th and Sunday, November 18th. The tour of homes, as you know, is probably the biggest fundraiser that the Chamber of Commerce does for itself, and to keep community events happening and bring tourism to Hudson. So we really encourage you. The tickets are $20 each. You get to see 5 great homes in Hudson who have generously opened their doors to us. They are decorated over the top for the Christmas holidays, along with the historic Octagon House, which is also included with your ticket on the tour. Purchase your tickets by November 14th, and you're eligible to win great prizes. We have prizes of $250 each in each of the homes, as well as hundreds of dollars worth of prizes in all of the participating retail shops downtown.
Are those chamber dollars?
Pardon me?
Are they chamber dollars?
Chamber dollars for the gifts?
No, for the awards.
I'm sorry.
Weren't you giving some dollars away as prizes?
Well, actually, they're retail prizes that we are giving away from the retail shops. Yeah, they're $250 worth of prizes that a lot of 5 of the retailers downtown and some on the Hill have graciously decided to give to us for those prizes. So we're really appreciative of that. The other thing is I want to remind the residents, too, of Celebrate the Holidays, which the City of Hudson is also involved in. And there are 3 dates to keep in mind, and all of these things are located on our website, too, at www.hudsonwi.org. And that is Friday, November 23rd at 7 o'clock. Santa will be coming to downtown to light up and start the holidays. And so we encourage everyone to bring their kids and families and come down to the historic downtown Hudson. Friday, November 30th from 6 to 9 is the second year that they're going to be doing the candlelight stroll. Those of you who attended last year saw it was a very nice, quiet, nice evening. It's all lit throughout town. There's carriage rides that you can chip on. It's also the kickoff for the holiday dessert contest. And there are 6 or 7, I believe, restaurants that are involved in that this year. And they all have one particular dessert that they will have on through the end of December. And they encourage residents to come in and vote on their favorite desserts. So that will participate all through the year. And then December 1st from 12 to 4 will be reindeer and Santa in the park. And people are encouraged to bring their cameras. It's free. You can just stand in line and sit on Santa's lap, take your pictures, and there's lots of treats and lots of organizations and activities that are going on, plus live reindeer. So we encourage everyone to attend.
I understand your black tie event is already sold out. So
our black tie event on Friday the 16th, which is part of the tour, is a great event that just began 3 years ago, where people come and can tour their homes in a limousine, and we end up at one of the restaurants in town. And for the first time ever, we sold out 3 weeks in advance. I wish we had about 6 more limos, but we're doing good, and it'll be great. And thanks to every one of the residents in town that supported us, so that's good.
Well, thank you for
Thanks.
all the work that you do.
Good job, Pat.
Anyone else? Anyone?
Good evening.
Hi.
I sent everybody a letter a couple weeks ago, and I'm just here. I found out recently that I could come before the council and request that the item be put on the next agenda.
Okay.
And so that is what I'm requesting.
All right. I think your initial letter was to Mr. O'Connell.
Correct, and I understand he's been out of town So I noticed it didn't get on the agenda, so I'm assuming the word didn't get here, he didn't get a chance to see the letter before he left, so.
Well, while you're up there, why don't you tell the council and also the audience on TV why you're requesting this?
Well, I'm requesting it basically for two reasons. Number one, last year it was voted down 4-2, and I wasn't here, but I viewed the tape of the council meeting, and based on what I saw there, I felt that it was voted down because at the time there were no beer licenses available. The last one available was being approved for Chipotle's at that particular meeting. And number two, there's a different makeup of the council after the election last spring. So those are the two reasons that I'm requesting that it be looked at again.
But in your particular case, the ordinance would have to be changed from the existing ordinance.
Correct.
For
Correct.
you to have a license.
Right, and last year that the city attorney wrote up the amended ordinance, which was in front of the council, which I included in my letter.
I saw that, yeah. Okay. Any questions on Mr. Christopherson? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's go to the consent agenda items, and Madam Clerk will verbalize those for us.
To approve the public hearing regular meeting minutes and closed session minutes of October 5th, 2007, and the special meeting minutes and closed session minutes of October 31st, 2007. To approve claims for payment in the amount of $927,886.47. A detailed description is available in the clerk's office on request. To approve the issuance of one regular operator's license for the period November 6th, 2007 through June 30th, 2009. Additional information is available on request. To place on file the quarterly reports of the building inspector and city clerk and the Community Access Board minutes of October 23rd, 2007. That is all.
What is your pleasure on the consent agenda?
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Morset?
Yes.
O'Malley?
Yes.
Wyland?
Yes.
Rademacher?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Let's go to reports of standing committees. The Plant Commission conditional use permit for vehicle repair garage at 1300 Gateway Circle, presently Indian Head Glass, Matt Briggs Auto Service. Denny's going to give us the executive summary.
Plan Commission recommends approval of conditional use permit to Matt Briggs Auto Service for a vehicle repair garage at 1300 Gateway Circle with the following conditions. Plans must be submitted to address plumbing and heating, ventilation, air conditioning improvements as per the memorandum of Mike Walsh, building inspector, dated October 22nd, 2007. The conditional use permit will be reviewed 1 year after occupancy of the building as a vehicle repair garage. Mr. Matt Briggs is here tonight to answer any particular questions that the council members or the mayor may have.
Everybody in that area was notified of this change.
Absolutely.
And you haven't received any.
Just the two contacts that I mentioned in my issue sheet, one from Menards. I believe Mr. Briggs received a personal phone call from Menards just asking a few questions.
Okay.
And Mr. Mark Mondes from Mondes Motorsports did express some concern about on-street parking. Matt did not attend the Plan Commission meeting, and I'm not aware that he's here tonight.
Denny, I had one question in regards to the storing of junk vehicles or tires that are thrown out. We have one particular business in town that has a pile of tires and junk behind their facility. Is this going to provide adequate coverage of those items? Have they addressed the issue of junk vehicles?
There is a storage area on the south side. It is fenced in currently. Mr. Briggs may be able to address that particular issue. I did express, that we, with the 1 year review, that, the site needs to be kept clean and kept up, and maybe provide Mr. Briggs an opportunity to answer that question. Yeah, absolutely. You're on TV, Matt, so.
It's good for business, Matt.
I do believe, I think I know what you're talking about, the other shop. And there is a fenced-in area on the south side, like Denny said. You can make arrangements, I know, with companies for pickup of tires on a weekly basis if needed. They do their route and they can come by and pick them up as needed. As far as junk cars, it's never been a problem in the past. There's with the prices of scrap metal right now, which I'm sure you've heard on the news. There's excuse me, there's more than enough companies wanting them. They just come by and pick them up.
I guess are they gonna be contained, covered? The tires, anything that's eyesore?
Well, it's in a fenced-in area. They do provide cages if you need be, and there is a room, I believe, in that building. We can keep some inside. You know, exact numbers, you know, if we set it up, you know. I'm assuming being where this building is located and with the neighbors there, tires won't be a big thing there.
Okay.
I just don't.
You're satisfied with this, with,
We could put a condition on it if it's agreeable to Mr. Briggs that the tires have to be kept in that fenced area on the south side of the building.
I'd like to see that.
And, you know, if they come up with some alternative considerations, we can bring that back for review.
okay.
But we could put that as a condition of the approval.
I think I'd like to see it, because I'd like to address that issue down the road.
Question for you, Matt. You've provided us with an outline of the building. It does not show how many service bays you're going to have. How many are going to be located inside?
Well, the size of the building, I think our maximum we could see is 7.
So if you have 7 bays for servicing, I assume that people will drop off a car either the night before or in the morning and then pick it up approximately 24 hours later. In 7 bays, you're going to be able to operate on some multiple of that number 7 during a day. My question relates to the off-street parking. You have 16 spaces, and you think you could have 8 or 9 more possibly. If you've got 7 bays operating, you're going to go through, I don't know, maybe 20 plus cars in a day. Do you feel confident that you're going to be able to contain all of your customers' vehicles off the street?
Well, let's say I believe there's 13 spots up front and roughly 8 in the rear. They're not all marked right now, but with the business that was in there, I guess they didn't need parking in the rear. But there's roughly 20 stalls of parking outside. So, you know, I hope that's an issue. There is land, the lot next to it is included with the building. And I spoke at the other meeting that, you know, that's part of my 1-year checkup. Is if we need to build a lot, the room is there, you know, to do additional parking. I do believe for at least starting out, I would think 20 would be more than adequate, but.
Okay. You understand that's why I'm asking this question, because it is, the committee recommendation does not include it as a condition of your conditional use permit, of granting that permit. I want you to understand that there may be some feeling that if you wind up parking a lot of cars on the street, that it may be an issue for renewal of that conditional use permit in 1 year.
I think excuse me, I'm sorry.
That is an issue I raised with Matt from the very beginning. So he's pretty cognizant of the issue. But again, you know, the 1-year review would give us an opportunity to bring it back as an issue.
But Matt, if you're having a problem, come to us so that we can take the appropriate action to change the situation with your help so that we don't get into a situation that takes us a year to find out about it, okay? So if you have some problems, talk to Danny, bring it into the council, and we'll discuss it, and most importantly, try and solve it.
Okay.
You're going to invest a lot of money in this. I just want to prevent any bad surprises for you later on down the road. I want you to know what our feeling is on that. Thanks.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the conditions that outlined by Denny, and also add the condition that any used tires and junk cars be stored in the fenced-in area.
I'll second is,
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next one is a certified survey map for 2 residential lots, South Wisconsin Street at Wisconsin and 6th Street intersection. Steve Wolin, Parkview Development, LLC.
Planning Commission recommends approval of the two-lot certified survey map, also known as the CSM, as proposed by Parkview Development, generally located on the south side of Wisconsin Street at the intersection of Wisconsin Street and 6th Street with the following conditions. Parkview Development provide a letter of credit to the amount of $18,570 to assure the installation of 2 sets of sanitary sewer and water utility services and the restoration of the street, curb and gutter, and boulevard. Grading plans must be submitted for approval by the city for both lots prior to the issuance of building permit on either lot. We have received a letter of credit from Parkview for half. Brian Hines, who is a potential buyer, has agreed to provide a second letter of credit, so we are getting sufficient letters of credit to assure both installations. So recommend approval.
Okay.
So moved with the contingencies that you've just mentioned.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
This is a side order on this particular issue. I have talked to Gary Zappa to get estimate, because when these lots are graded, we'll need to reinstall a catch basin in the parking lot for the park, and then also grade and do some buffer area between the residential lots. So I'm getting that information, so that's provided to the park board so they know what.
Would that be to remove that other parking lot completely then?
No. Just that parking lot would stay as is, but the catch basin that serves the drainage for that parking lot goes into these 2 lots.
Oh.
So we need to probably terminate that, put the catch basin on the end, so as it drains, you know, I'm not sure what the estimate will be, but I am getting that information so we can consider it as a capital improvement program next year.
You understand we're spending a lot of money to fill the one hole up there, and we're going to spend more money to dig another hole. They're just in the right spots, though.
Let's go to Finance Committee. Number 4, application Kaladi's LLC for a Class B beer and Class C wine license. Kaladi's Gourmet Escape at 3250 Heiser Street. Recommendation from Finance is to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Good luck. Number 5, 2008 assessment maintenance contract with Bomar Appraisal. Recommendation from Finance is to approve.
So moved for approval.
Second.
Any discussion or comments? I think, how many years has this been, Mike?
The first year we did this with Bomar was 1989, I believe.
Wow. It's BJ before Jack. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. We did provide a 2008 capital outlay proposal and update on operational budgets, and we did make a couple of suggested change in finance, and Betty's going to give us the highlights of those. We're trying to keep our capital projects at $1.5 million, and we made a couple of changes that she is going to tell us about.
When we went out for the request of the budget, capital outlay expenditures came back around $3 million. And city not being able to actually address $3 million in 1 year with that, we've looked at some of the ways that we can fund it and some of the ways that we can spread it over a period of time. Last year, for the first time, we did short-term borrowing for the small capital outlay items. It was approximately $245,000 that we borrowed. And I'd like to recommend that the council do that again this year, being we don't have that amount left in our tax levy to buy the computers or the small items, the emergency poles, those type of things. So when we looked at this in the funding, we tried to get the 1 year funding around the $245,000 mark. And then looking at the long-term financing, if we're going to go about $1.5 million at the most for a bond issue, a long-term bond issue. So with that, we put together what we have like an option 1. a meeting with the department heads, asking them what they can and cannot do without what they can postpone. And we brought it down to approximately $235,000. We made some changes in finance for the short-term financing. We added the emergency poles for the sirens, taking them out of long-term, adding $6,000 there, adding an additional $2,000 to the police department for some more computers, and that brought us up to $243,000. And then their bonding, at this point, we took out the $25,000 we had for the poles, and we're down to $1,357,000 in that. So, council's got any questions on that?
Well, I think that we probably should put the regular budget and the capital projects combination together for a full council approval at our next meeting. And in between, is that all right?
Well, that's when the budget hearing is, so, right. Yeah.
Then it would be appropriate, right? Just so that we have some input between now and then, if there is some comments. I wanted to mention that some of the things we took out of there for not forever, but for really a delay until 2009, when we think that we'll be in a better position. We were talking about the comprehensive plan, the lakefront benches and tables, and we left one lakefront benches and tables in. The Burton restroom, we're looking at a new design there. We eliminated the laptop computer, a single axle dump truck for 160 grand, asphalt roller for 15. We did add, which I think is good, pumps for the stormwater. And we delayed Locust 4th to River and 2nd and Vine street improvements for 45,000, and storm sewer mitigation Myrtle to Oak and 5th at 400 grand. So you can only absorb so much, and we decided that we would take $1.5 million for our capital projects in 2008.
I had one question in particular. I don't know if I'm reading it right on the boat launch and the overlay for bonding. Didn't we just do that for the boat launch, the mill and overlay?
No.
No.
Parking lot?
Yeah, the overlay parking lot, boat launch.
Yeah.
Didn't we just do that?
I don't believe so.
No, we didn't. That, I'm trying to
This
think
parking
which.
lot down here.
Right,
Yeah.
no, we didn't redo that recently.
The Buckeye lot?
I'm not sure what one they actually have in the Parks Department on this, so I can check with you and let you know.
Isn't
They-
this actually the
I don't know.
boathouse parking lot?
It said they submitted it as boat launch, and so I assumed it was
We'll get
down there.
clarification
However,
on
it
that.
could be
Where's the
Corky's
boat?
Landing. I'm not sure if it's Corky's. I'm not
Okay.
sure which one you
Well,
guys
it
are
could be
looking
Corky's
at.
Landing too.
Well, either one, I don't think they need to be done. I think they're in fine shape, so I don't agree with that $25,000 there.
Randy, I'll get clarification on that for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
I'd like to mention to council, though, as part of this, with the short-term funding, we're looking at a mill rate of $4.23 per thousand. The short-term funding is something that I actually need your direction on prior to adopting the budget. If we're going to include that for our 2008 debt, I need to get council to authorize the debt in this year prior to the budget adoption for it to qualify for next year's tax levy.
Well,
So,
that's on the agenda tonight, so we could approve it, couldn't we, council?
Yes, it's part of the capital outlay.
If it's a need.
Could I ask two more questions in the fire department? Real quick, the roof and move the base radio for the one-year short-term bonding? Is that
Right now, the radio antenna is sitting on city property, but it's on the water utility lot. And they wanna do improvements there that would put the utility or the pole right in the middle of their parking area that they wanna redo. So I need to move the antenna so that pole can be removed and they can add on to the parking area.
Why don't you have the water utility pay for it?
It's the fire department's radio, and the
Well,
fire department originally put it there.
Well, what about the roof?
The roof,
Is it?
the roof is leaking again, and this will cover a 10-year warranty. I mean, the upgrade will cover the 10-year warranty and maintenance for the next 10 years.
Chief, was that a rubber roof when we repaired it lastly?
That's a urethane roof.
Okay.
So it really can't wait.
Well, it can be, but, well, we ever replaced a lot of ceilings?
No.
Well, good questions, and you know, we want everybody to be involved in every aspect of this, so now's the time to ask the questions.
I will move that we suspend the rules in order to vote on the short-term loan.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion, which we've already had, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
I move that we authorize Betty to investigate interest on a, was it 200 and the,
Approximately 243,000.
I was going to say 242, but okay, 243, $243,000 loan, short-term loan for next year.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion. Everybody realize why we have to do it, what we're doing it for, the items that it's going to cover?
This is just for the 1-year funding, right?
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item is update on projects, which we did get a report from Chuck. He's not here this evening, right? Denny, when do they expect a cost estimate for wastewater treatment plant expansion? Do you have anything on that?
Well, that study is essentially done. What I'd like to do is have an opportunity to sit down with Betty to go over how that could possibly be funded. So when we talk about the cost, we also talk about the funding.
Okay.
Also, we're going to bring the Planning Commission and Council in for 2 different meetings. I'd rather prefer to bring them in for 1 meeting, discuss the roadway improvements, traffic analysis, and the wastewater treatment all in 1 meeting.
Okay, good.
Versus bringing in for 2 different meetings. So we're waiting till the second study's done, and we'll bring everybody in, discuss it all in 1 evening. So,
Scott, you know what? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is this the assumption that if we annex the property, then we will need to expand the wastewater treatment plant? Is that
well,
what it's predicated on?
basically it really tells you where we're at as far as the wastewater treatment plant, what the costs are. It's really not a physical plant increase as much as it is technological.
Right.
It's really where we're at with what the report essentially says.
Well, it'll give us some input if we want to make a decision on future annexations and the capacity that we have now and what we could get if we made some changes in our technology at the existing plant.
All right, cool.
I have to say, I'm a little disappointed that we have this beautiful new road at Carmichael and Crestview.
I'm just going to bring that up.
They just came in the other day and cut this big box out of the road. I can't believe that.
They're putting it back. It's going
Well,
back.
I know, but you're always going to get, you know how that goes, Scott. Start
I know.
alligatoring. And it's
I know. Unfortunately, you can't put the loops in until the road's there. Then you got to cut up the road to put the loops in.
That's the way we've always done it. Hey, Scott, I wanted to ask you a question because I turned off Crestview onto Carmichael. I thought we were going to have 3 then.
We will. The problem is this.
There's only 2 now.
Yes, there will be 3 next spring. We will not be able to put up the masts that will hold the signs until the manufacturer takes care of their delivery issue and gets them to us, and that will be in time for spring planting.
True, but as I was making the left-hand turn,
Yeah.
the arrow said in the next.
Yeah, I know.
Was straight, and this guy actually almost crushed me as he was making a left-hand turn.
We would be well-served to go back to putting it under construction with 4-way stop signs. It worked beautifully. But since we can't go
With no
backwards.
signs, it worked
Well, it
beautifully.
worked great, because everybody was courteous and allowed other people to get in line and do the
It
thing.
actually was working pretty well.
It was.
Anybody have any questions on the public projects that we can bring to the attention through Mr. Devon to Chuck? That's all I had.
We will possibly have a consideration for the amount of a survey to put in the Hadley walkway. We appropriated $40,000 for that last year to be spent this year. We didn't get to that project. We were doing an awful lot of street repair and mill and overlay work. but it's a perfect time right now to do the survey if we need to. There may already be survey work done there. We're checking that. I talked to Chuck this afternoon.
Good.
To see if we can use previous survey work. If not, the leaves are off the trees, the snow has not yet fallen. It's a perfect time to survey for that walkway. So we'll have results on that for you for the next meeting.
Any other questions? Mr. Morissette? Let's go to B, consider rezoning River Ridge Professional Center at 1200 Oxford Street from I-1 Light Industrial to B2 General Business. I think we had the first reading, didn't we?
Yes.
First reading was at the October 15th meeting. Planning Commission recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Oh, here's one for you, Scott.
We have decided unanimously,
Without any
intervention, I'm going to announce that we're extending the fall leaf collection for one more week, and that is not going to really cost us much of, well, not cost much of anything. The leaf collection will be extended through tomorrow, November 6th and 7th and 8th, Tuesday through Thursday. The West End Garage will be open from noon to 7 p.m. for free drop-off of leaves. Please, leaves only, no tree limbs. And gosh, folks, no pumpkins. Yeah. And this coming Saturday will be the last day that we then plan for extending. Some trees are still hanging on to their leaves, even but tonight's wind may take care of that.
You think a week is going to be enough?
Well, we'll see what we can do. This costs us basically only 25 cents on the dollar because we get 75% reimbursed from the county recycling fee. So if we have to go an extra 2 weeks, we will. That depends on Mother Nature, really.
I did get a complaint from somebody was dumping leaves, and we had a person on duty that was not very helpful in helping people my age taking leaves out of their trunk and depositing them, and I took care of that.
I can tell you that people your age should not be going out that much. Yeah. And but actually, I was there.
Get even with you.
I checked it over the weekend, and there was a very helpful young man on duty who, without being asked, just decided to start taking the bags out of the trailer himself. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go B, consider combining the Parks Department and Public Works Department personnel for flexibility and other situations, especially during the winter months when we have to call on these people to do CDL operations, snow removal, and that sort of thing. It'll basically be the same operation, but Mr. Zulli will have the power and the opportunity to call on these people whenever needed. And I think that's a good idea.
I will move that we do this. It's basically formalizing a process that has already been in place, and this is just a no-brainer. I move that we do combine Parks Department and Public Works Department and personnel.
I'll second.
And you, go ahead.
Is this for indefinite, or when we fall on better times, or?
No, indefinite.
Until you can choose a director later on, and I wanted to mention that Mr. Zulli and JJ have done an outstanding job in taking over the duties of those two areas. Let me tell you, they've had some good suggestions. If you take a look at our parks, I've never seen them that looked any better than right now. We took a picture of JJ and his boys on Cooley Road, and raining like crazy, and they're cutting brush because the deer were crossing Cooley, and they were a real hazard to traffic. These guys, I'm telling you, have done more than I could ever have expected, and I'm sure that you feel the same way.
I feel exactly the same way, and in conference with Tom Zulli recently, we were talking over all the projects we've undertaken and all we've been doing for this, within the city. We need another person we need to add another person. We have an ad that's been running to replace a person who left the department, but we need yet another person in Public Works, and we've had to come to the realization that we don't have the budget to hire another person for Public Works. So if we can borrow Parks personnel when they are available, and they can borrow Public Works personnel when available, it'll work out much better, Both JJ and Tom have been doing a tremendous job. They need some flexibility to grab some manpower when they need it.
I have no doubt they've done a great job. I guess I'm just looking for a little more formality, I think. Isn't there some kind of paperwork to combine two departments?
They're all considered maintenance personnel on the
Okay.
contract. There's no designation
Yeah.
between Parks and Public Works formally.
This is the people that set the process.
Oh.
No, it makes sense, and like Scott said, you gotta be able to, especially this time of year, bring guys back and over to Public Works to help plow
And
snow
I
or
didn't want
whatever
to
else.
belittle the rest of the maintenance crew because they are also putting forth a lot of
Everybody's doing a good job.
extra work with not as many people as we could have ideally. So when you see them, give them a pat on the back. Did we get a?
Motion in a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. We don't have a closed session. Communications and recommendations of the mayor. Betty did put together where we are on budgets for 2007, and I repeat this every meeting, we will not be over on this year's budget. And according to her calculations, total expenditures are 79.21. Ideally, they're within limits of 80%. We're looking at this with an eagle eye, and this purchase order process that Betty and Devin and the staff put together has really been effective. And so we're not going to be in a situation where we were last year. Let's see. Communications items for future agendas. Any alderperson?
I do have one thing. I don't know if this is a question or it can be answered or to tell next time. Received a letter in the mail from Viola about rate increases. Is that something that the city has negotiated with in the past?
We have a 5-year contract with Veolia that Public Works negotiated
Yeah.
2 years ago. So that's it.
They just sent out a rate increase
Yeah.
in the mail.
They can send out whatever they like. We have a contract.
I have not seen that, so
We can look into that.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Do you want to get specific on the topic you brought up earlier on the tires?
Yeah, there's a business on Ward Avenue, I guess Cooley Road as well, that has got a pile of tires in the back of their business, along with some mufflers, old mufflers, used scrap metal, lying in the back.
Tim, can we get David on that?
Yeah.
Tell him to go through the alleys once in a while too, will you?
And I did bring up, there were some areas of taller grass, Denny Hector's old building being one that I did mention to Krupich today. Make sure he got up.
What was there?
Just the grass is.
Oh,
corner
okay,
there on
I'm-
17th is getting tall because.
These
there's
just
nobody
call
there.
for enforcement of the existing code.
Yeah.
That's all.
Anyone else?
It would be nice to go through the city and do another sign sweep. I noticed there's a lot of them out there.
Sign sweep?
Sign sweep. Denny's been,
Yeah, Denny's been on top of that. Anything specific that you'd like, Chuck?
I'll mention it to him.
Okay. Anyone else?
No.
City attorney? City administrator?
Move to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you very much
you.
for